Hello, folks. Hello. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Well, thank you for tuning in to Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Already on the BS this morning. I swear to God, I'm going to get rid of this effing program, Restream. It is just... So just as I started the stream, it unexpectedly shut down. I lost all the people that were watching. I don't know what the hell it looks like over here. Did it just like start and shut down? Did it restart the whole damn stream? I don't even know. What a marvelous pain in the rump. Let me see what it looks like over here. Yeah, I don't know. The live stream shut down. I don't know what you guys saw, but anyway. Morning, folks. Morning. So now I'm already all pissed off, you know? Anyway. Let's see. This is a, question and answer Thursday. Somebody told me I should do this once a week, maybe. So I set it up for Wednesday, but Lissa told me that she told me that yesterday was Wednesday. I thought today would be Wednesday. Man, I got to get a job. When you stop doing the day-to-day thing, you actually forget what day it is. Good morning over there, Jace, Ria over in Australia. Good to see you, man. So the way we'll do this today is if you have questions about stuff, I'll, MC protocol or whatever. I will, we'll spend a few minutes this morning talking about, stuff, and maybe we'll do this once a week, and we'll have fun of it. Have fun, a little bit of fun today. Well, hell, let me, I guess we should probably take off with the mothership, huh? Let's get underway. All aboard. Who are going aboard? There we go. Ha! We're moving. Let's see here. Let's get to my chat window. So a few things that I found were kind of crazy yesterday. They announced this big, huge lawsuit against Donald Trump yesterday. They called it the Art of the Steal. And then they're trying to put him out. They're trying to put your boy out of New York doing business there altogether. I mean, hell, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could like put somebody out of an entire city. Like you can't do business here at all. That is interesting. That's Hellfighter Steve says he's not watching chat this morning. Good morning, honor and respect, Black Dragon. Good morning to my honor and respect to my Black Sabbath brother Doc over there in Topeka. Let's see, relax, Black Dragon. We're still here for you. Thank you, Shadow. So Dwayne Martin says, I like hearing you every day. Man, I like being heard, man. Good morning, Milton Stewart. So I'm just saying hello to you guys this morning and telling y'all stuff. Can you do a video series on national officers or offices on the national ones? I've you know what? I have never done, I don't even think not even one video have I ever done on national officers. So no, I'm not going to. No, just kidding. I can't remember ever doing a video on national officers. So let me write that down. So I guess I will. I'll do some videos on national officers. Right now, I'm doing a series of videos on the bylaws of the 1946 booze fighters over on TikTok. And I think I'm going to do that over here too, as well as some other bylaws I found. Somebody who's writing a book asked me about some bylaws. And of course, I couldn't send him mine, but I did a quick internet search on bylaws. I found a whole lot of motorcycle club bylaws on social media. And it was interesting how some of them were. And so I think it'd be kind of cool to do a series on bylaws and how different motorcycle clubs do it. But let's see, video on national officers. Well, that don't work. Let me reach out of the spaceship. I'm going to reach out of the spaceship for a moment. Yeah. Okay. Forgive me for that. I mean, that's ugly. That should never happen. Let's see. So let's see. Veteran video on national officers. Okay. I will get on that forthwith. I will get on that forthwith. All right. What else do we have here? Are you attending or streaming the Sonny Barger funeral? I'm not going. I would love to go and take part of history, but you had to have your request in by the 17th. And, it's all the way in California, and I just didn't make any plans to go there. So no, I won't be. And when I read the thing, it said the stream was owned by the Hells Angels, and that the only way that you could restream it or whatever is through their permission. And so I don't plan to be restreaming it because they are a litigious organization, and they will sue your ass for not using their stuff correctly. So if I can get permission from somebody over there, I will restream it. But I don't imagine they would need me for that. I mean, everybody's going to be watching it on their stuff. So I hadn't made any plans for that. Following from Kenya. Good morning. Good morning to you in Kenya. It's so good to see you. This is coming from Will May, the my brother up in Minnesota area, Red Lake, the Red Lake Nation reservation up there, who is I think this is the same Will May, who is the president of Dayboy Motorcycle Club. Short and sweet, why are clicks bad for the club? So short and sweet, clicks are bad because they draw focus away from the agenda of the club. They draw focus, resources, and attention away from the way that the club should be operating. So if we're all together on one page, we can get something done. It's kind of like if you're riding your motorcycle to a destination and you got somebody who wants to take 45 minutes at every stop. Like, dude, you're such a deviation of what it is we're trying to do. We're trying to get down the road. You want to remember the first time I ever took a long trip on my motorcycle. I had a 500 Honda Silverwing, and we were getting ready to go to Wichita, Kansas, which was just 3 hours away from Oklahoma City. And me and this guy, I don't even know his name anymore, but he had a motorcycle, I had a motorcycle, so we made friends. And we were going to ride. So we rode through Oklahoma City, which was about 25 minutes. And then we got out of Oklahoma City on Interstate 35. And we got north on Interstate 35 about 20 minutes. So we were riding about 40 minutes. And your boy pulled over. And I pulled over with him like, oh, what's going on? To have a cigarette. 40 minutes in the ride. And I was like, oh, hell, we ain't going. I was like, dude. And I was brand new. I was just a kid. I was a teenager. Like, 16 or something. And I was like, bro, we're pulling over. That's when I began to know I was going to be a long distance rider. I was mad when we pulled over after 40 minutes of riding. I was pissed. I was like, we'll never get there. Clicks are like that. They pull you off the mission of what you're trying to do. I'm trying to get something accomplished, and here you are on the phone telling people that the president's incompetent, or we should be doing this, or we should be doing that. And the problem with clicks is they never bring the damn click to the table. Bring everything to the table. You bring everything to the table, everything you need to talk about, everything you want to argue about, everything you want to piss on somebody about, bring to the table. And clicks won't come to the table. They won't bring anything to the table. It's always in the back, secret, hush, hush. Because clicksters, they need an audience. They need a team. They can't come at you one-on-one. They got to come at you with this like vampires going after the townspeople going after the vampires. You only get a very few Van Helsings, that just go one-on-one in the vampire den against 50 vampires or even one. Everybody else, they need the whole village and pitchforks and stuff to come after the vampire. They're cowards, these clique people that form off in these cliques. They're cowards. They won't face you head on. So, short and sweet, why are cliques bad for the club? Because they draw away from the club's mission by stealing the club's resources, the club's personnel, the club's mental, the club's ideas, the club's intellectual properties, the club's direction, and they redirect it in another place that nobody voted on. They're trying to pull the club off the mission. So you should stamp clicks out like stamping out roaches in a infested house. You should just go to stamping and raid spraying and stuff. Clicks are not good because they tear down rather than support. Like star-bellied sneetches and sneetches without stars on their belly. They create a class among classes of members. These members aren't good enough to be in a clique. Those members aren't. These guys aren't down with us, and so they're full of shit. These cliques. Short and sweet. Was that short? And so if you're a president, if you're somebody they're trying to draw into the clique, refuse. I'm not fixing to get on the phone with you guys. We also call cliques sidebars. You're ever in court, like, did you watch the O.J. Simpson trial? Are you guys too young for that? I'm watching the O.J. Simpson trial every day. Every day. I watched it every single day. I just gotten out of the Navy. I was going to college. I had the ability to watch it every day. I felt as though I was part of the thing. I listened to all the evidence. I felt as though I could myself. Well, what do you think, Mr. Dragon? Guilty or not guilty? I was there. I except for the sidebars. When the sidebars came, they all went off to a corner where you couldn't go. Didn't you feel left out? I was like, are you really going to have a sidebar that we can't listen to? Are you serious right now? That's what cliques do to the club. All right. They're sidebar stuff, and they draw you away from whatever the club is trying to do. Question. Do you ever miss getting your ride without having to wear, getting to ride probably is what you're trying to say. Do you ever miss getting to ride without having to worry about protocols? No, I'm a club guy. I gave up being like a biker decades ago. Every now and then I'll get out and roll up to Blood Mountain or the Tail of the Dragon or something, and put my dog on the back. When I had Braveheart, I'd put my 2 dogs on the back, and I'd be okay. As a biker, I go for my ride or whatever. But I'm a club biker. I really am. So I really much would rather prefer to be there with my club brothers. And then whenever you're with your club brothers, there's always some form of protocol or politics to deal with. But I much rather ride with my brothers, even than riding alone. I'm sold out for the mission. I'm sold out for the MC. I'm sold out for the brotherhood. There are people that are not like that. They rather ride alone. They're bikers. All clubbers are bikers, but not all bikers are clubbers. So there's a biker part in me that loves to be on 2, but because I'm a clubber, I like to be on 2 with my brothers, which is really difficult when you get your ass ready to give up the club. Like when they're janky and you're ready to move on. If you're a clubber, it becomes difficult if you're sold out for the MC. So I never miss not having to worry about protocols because I'm really into it. It's part of, somebody said the other day, Uncle Shaggy, I believe Uncle Shaggy said it. It's not a lifestyle, he said. It's a life choice. I think that was Shaggy that said that. I hope it was. And it's not a lifestyle, it's a life choice. It's my life choice. So, no, I don't miss that at all. Let me see. Morning, you said it took you 5 years of prospecting to get your patch. Did you ever feel discouraged or think it wasn't going to happen? I absolutely thought it was not going to happen ever. And when it did, they told me I would never be Black Sabbath. They told me I would never cut the mustard. They told me I would never, ever, ever put on those colors. There were many people against me. There were many people that did not want to see me succeed. There were many people that thought that I would be least likely to succeed. So I absolutely didn't think it was going to happen till it happened. And for me, it happened for a very distinct reason. I had finally done enough for the club that I could no longer be denied. I had finally done so much for the club that the father who was the president at the time was like, bro, it's time. Nobody's going to stand against me for you to have your colors. It's time. But I did a lot. I did way more than many other people. So the killer is when the person voted least likely to succeed becomes the national president. And then all them people that stood against you and hated against you now have to call you national. And that right there. Woo! That right there was something. And then to actually do even bigger things I was a nothing in the motorcycle club in the Black Sabbath Nation. I was a nothing for almost, like 15, 16 years. I was a nothing. And then, so it took me a long time to develop into, what you guys see today, a world-renowned figure, blah, 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 book writer, movie maker, blah, 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 blah. It took me a long time to develop. Some people developed in like 3 or 4 years. I was so busy playing biker and having a good time and chasing women and not caring about nothing that had to do with the MC. I wore my patch was my pass to hang out on the set, be part of the brotherhood. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't care about politics. I wasn't trying to run for no office. I didn't care about how the money was spent. I didn't care if the money was stolen. They had a clubhouse. I got to come to the clubhouse. I got to be a Black Sabbath. That's all I wanted to be. That's all I wanted. And then when I became a member, man, it was so cool. All the women, the fun, the riding with the brothers. I didn't want to run this thing, man. That was too much. No. Too much. But it happened. So Dwayne said a great topic would be national officers. We're going to do that. Well, I'm going to do that for you. Good morning up there to Hiram, Georgia. What about doing a military MC tribute on Veterans Day? I like that, Scott. Let's figure out how to do that. When is Veterans Day? That's a good question. Okay, military tribute on Veterans Day. Military tribute to MCs on Veterans Day. Okay. We'll look into that. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any more questions? Scroll down here. So I'm behind, obviously. Somebody says clicks are bad in any group, civilian, military, or political. At church, too. Absolutely. Oh, it looks like we were getting spammed here. Did somebody get rid of that person? I got to do a lot of catching up here. Somebody said I was literally 7 months old during the OJ. Is that true? Am I that old? Or were you really just 7 months? That's funny. I was literally 7 months old during the OJ Simpson trial. Then you don't even know, like that was so important in America in terms of, it was the first big kind of case like that anybody ever saw. There were some others like, oh my goodness, the DeLorean trial. You weren't even around for that when DeLorean killed his wife. And there was a few, but that was the big one. Explain the importance of the phrase, closed mouths don't get fed. Well, that's the same as the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. You know, if you can't speak up, if you can't assert your rights, if you can't assert your questions, if you can't get your grievances addressed, then they won't be addressed. You know, you can never expect that they'll see you. You can never think, well, the president knows I got a problem. Well, the club knows that I spent my money on the road, and they know that they're supposed to reimburse me. A lot of times, people just don't know what they should know. They don't know what's obvious to the most casual observer. They don't know what you're going through because they're not looking at it from a lens of your perspective. The president's got so much other stuff going on, he doesn't know that you're not being fed your spiritual vitamin. So if you want and you need your spiritual vitamin, if you need to be reimbursed, if you need your stuff to be addressed, you got to open up your mouth. President Big Will says it right here. Closed mouths don't get fed. That goes for everything. If you want the club to vote for something, you've got to put a motion on the floor. If you've got a club brother that's disrespecting you, you've got to bring it out in you can't get so mad. All of a sudden you just start shooting him. Bang, 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 bang. Well, what did you kill him for? What did he do? You never said a word. When I was in the Navy, we used to have this thing called sexual harassment training. When I was there, when sexual harassment really first hit the Navy, in this event called tailhook, and you have to look up tailhook, but it really caused a changing of the Navy that I was in, and they came up with these rules for sexual harassment. And one of the first rules for sexual harassment back then, I don't know what it is today, but back then was, if you're a woman and you feel sexually harassed, you got to say something. You got to say, no, I don't like that. Don't do that again. And nothing starts until you do that. Hey, can I go out on a date? Well, he sexually harassed me. No, not until you say, no, I don't want to date you. And don't ask me that again. Now, everything down the road from that, it's the open mouth gets fed. I was just watching a thing today on the right to on the Miranda rights, and one of the things it talked about is the right to remain silent. And a 2010, probably most of you guys didn't know about this, but a 2010 decision by the Supreme Court changes. That says that just being quiet does not assert your right to remain silent. They can still ask you questions and all kind of stuff until you say, I don't want to be questioned. I refuse to answer. I wish to remain silent. You got to open your mouth and verbally say what you need. And when you cannot do that, motorcycle clubbing, sexual harassment, the right to remain silent, any great big thing in this world, if you can't verbalize or make a signal as to what you want, then you won't get it. So that's the importance of the phrase, the closed mouth doesn't get fed. Derek says, will there ever be a Biker Boys 2? Probably not by but probably not by DreamWorks. A lot of those guys that made Biker Boys don't like to do sequels. They don't like to be typecast and all that kind of stuff. I remember talking to Lawrence Fishburne during that time. He'd come off of, when he made Biker Boys, he'd just come off of the Matrix sequel, and he was tired as hell of sequels. So sequels are not things that people like to do unless they get into franchises and they got big money, this, that, and the other. But a lot of guys that get into them sequels, like, for instance, Star Wars, a lot of those folks that did that will never do anything else. You only had a few breakouts that went on to star in this and that and the other. So a lot of folks that don't want to get typecast and role cast and all that stuff, they don't do sequels. So I don't think you would see another Biker Boys 2 sequel. Am I working on writing something else? Yes. Would it be called Biker Boys? I doubt it, because I think that name is owned or something. You might have to do something with DreamWorks, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be another great black biker movie. So that, I think, will happen. Avalanche Chosen Riders. MC St. Lawrence, New York chapter. Good to see you guys here. Outlaw Preacher. When you're with your brothers, you're never alone. You can go somewhere that is boring and have a great time. I love my brothers. So that was an answer or a response to my thing when I said, yeah, I'm sold out for the MC. Absolutely. Good morning, Can't Stop, Buffalo Soldiers. Good to see you here, man. Just looking for more questions. What is your favorite place to vacation? Ah, man. I like the Dominican Republic. I like Dubai. I love Cancun. I love Nigeria and Ghana. And some other great places in Africa. I really want to go to Eritrea or Somalia. Man, it's hard. I love France. It's hard. I don't know if I have a favorite. Hell, I love Savannah, Georgia. I love San Diego. I love Isla Mujeres down in Cancun area. Man, I love Chichen Itza. It's you, dude. I don't have a favorite. I don't even have a favorite like biking place. I know what I want. I want to bike through the Swiss Alps on them switchbacks there. And I want to do it on like a Hayabusa. Knee dragging and everything. You know, if you do that all day, like your legs hurt, your ass hurts, it all hurts. Back hurts when you're my age. But, my only reservation is when you fall there, you just fall. Oh, boom. Yeah. So you got to be careful, I think. Thank you, Black Dragon Guru. Thank you. I told you I liked that name the other day. Somebody said it's a beautiful thing to prove via your own merit that you're worthy of national leadership. I think the thing is the honor people bestow on you and following you. For almost 10 years, the club followed me. And I served the club. For that honor, I don't know, for me, that honor, that I only serving in the military and stuff like that matches that honor for me. Somebody says, I remember OJ. Scott Weber says, I remember OJ and the Oklahoma City bombing. My mother, I'm from Oklahoma. I went to high school in Oklahoma City. From Lawton, Oklahoma, and Kingfisher, them little country-ass towns. My mother missed the Oklahoma City bombing. She had a meeting in that building that morning, and her car wouldn't start. She had to call somebody over to bring her some gas, and they did. And while they were filling her car with gas so she could get down to the Oklahoma City Federal building, the Alfred P. Murrah building, if I remember the name of it right. In Kingfisher, some almost 60 miles north of Oklahoma City, they heard the explosion and felt the rumble. Can you imagine that? 60 miles away? It was crazy, Scott. What are the rules? Jim Anderson asks, what are the rules on using patches from your old cut to a new one? That depends entirely on your motorcycle club and your motorcycle club's bylaws. In some motorcycle clubs, there are no rules whatsoever. And in other motorcycle clubs, they've got a list of rules, a scroll, like the Dead Sea Scrolls long. So that would, that's definitely not a question I could answer with respect to your motorcycle club. Somebody said, hell, I still remember watching Tricky Dickie's impeachment trial. Wow. I remember that too. Gosh darn, I'm old. I remember watching President Richard Nixon. That's Tricky Dicky for those of you who are young. Kind of like Teflon Bill. Which Bill's Clinton? Teflon Bill Clinton. They used to call him Teflon because nothing would stick to him. They used to call President Richard Nixon, they used to call him Tricky Dicky, Tricky Dick. And I remember watching him get impeached as well. Trevor says workplace cliques are the worst. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Trevor says, my leading petty officer, that's what LPO stands for, my leading petty officer got popped for harassment for looking at a female too long. After Tailhook came, it was bad. You know, nothing in the military ever is kind of like center road. Everything is always extremely left or extremely right. They always overcorrect. And for a while there, you could actually get kicked out of the Navy for looking at a girl too long. It was horrible. Now it seems to have swung back the other way. Hey, what's up? Harley House 76. You guys got to make sure to go check out Harley House 76 over there on TikTok. Good man over there. You flying night in space today? I am flying. We've been flying in space for a few days now. Will May, what are President Big Will? What are tips for appropriately asserting officer authority and motivating the club? Well, in my book, President's Bible, which you did order from me yesterday, Big Will, thank you. Your book is actually in the mail. I talk about the 14 scientific principles of motorcycle club leadership. These principles I got from Navy books that we used to read and Navy courses that we used to study in leadership. And these courses taught us how to lead men and women in combat on submarines and all sorts of other things. And the 14 scientific principles of leadership are what I use to assert authority as an officer on the motorcycle club, in a motorcycle club. So I'll just briefly go through what they are for you. The 14 scientific principles of motorcycle club leadership, which I got from the scientific principles of military leadership. And you can think of it as a acronym called JJ Did Tie Buckle. So if you can remember JJ Did Tie Buckle, you've got these 14 scientific principles. The first one is justice. In asserting authority, it's much easier if the club thinks you're just. The second is judgment. If your motorcycle club respects your judgment, they will respect your authority as a leader. The third thing is dependability. People expect you to be dependable. And if they can find that they can depend on you, that you're going to be dependable no matter what, it's much easier to assert authority and motivate the club because you have justice, good judgment, and dependability. The next thing is initiative. You have to be able to show initiative. A good president takes initiative to make things happen. He's never just waiting for things to come to him. He's always looking to make improvements and taking the initiative to be the first one to step. You know, if you're the leader, being the first one to step, being the first one to notice, being the first one to bring things up, and taking the initiative to make sure that there's resolutions is a important part in appropriately asserting yourself as an officer and gaining authority and being able to motivate the troops. Decisiveness. Man, everybody hates a procrastinator, so you have to be decisive when you move. Tact. An untactful person has a hard time asserting authority because nobody likes your ass. You don't know how to talk to people. You treat people like they are less than you. You treat people like you're privileged. So if you don't have tact and you can't maintain yourself, and you can't maintain your self-control, and you can't maintain your cool, and you're talking to people like they're children, it's going to be hard to assert your authority, and it's going to be damn near impossible to motivate. You also have to have integrity, institutional integrity towards the bylaws. Let me tell you what integrity is not. Integrity is not making everybody else follow the bylaws while you refuse to follow the bylaws. This is not integrity. You have to have integrity in everything that you do when you move for the MC. When people see that you have that integrity, they don't have a hard time following you. You need to have enthusiasm. You know, everybody hates a blah ass, blah, blah, blah. You're not motivated. If you're not motivated, you can't motivate other people. So you have to have enthusiasm towards what we're doing. You got to have bearing. In the military, we call it military bearing. You know, you see a guy walking like a robot and snapping to and yes, sir, and calling everybody. There's a thing about bearing when you carry yourself with the bearing of a president. So when a prospect has you pull your drunk ass out of a gutter or take a needle out of your arm, you don't have the presidential bearing that somebody wants to follow. A president is someone whose head is high, chin is up. He's about the mission of the MC. He looks good. He dresses good. He dresses in the appropriate uniform. You tell everybody else the only thing you can have on your back is the club's colors, and then you come in with a Harley Davidson symbol underneath your club colors. You're not putting forth the military bearing that it takes to be a leader, an officer, to assert authority and motivate others. Then we need to talk about unselfishness. A real leader is unselfish. He puts his men before himself. He puts his club before I. It's we, not I. And this leader must be unselfish and giving, talking about more of what we gave than more of what. And it's hard because sometimes these bastards will make you say I. They'll make you have to say, well, no, I did that. I did that for us, but let's not get it. But they hear that and it throws them off. So you got to always try to consider, am I being unselfish? You got to have courage to be a leader. You got to have the courage to be wrong. You have to have the courage to be right, and everybody thinks you're wrong. You have to have the courage to apologize. You have to have the courage not to apologize. You have to have the courage to assert the bylaws no matter what, and the courage to stand for the MC no matter what. And in order to motivate others and assert authority, you have to have knowledge. You got to know what the F you're doing. I hate to see somebody run for president that doesn't know MC protocol. Now you're up there, the blind leading the blind with your thumb up your rump. You got to have knowledge about what you're doing. You got to be loyal. People hate a disloyal SOB. Somebody that is wishy-washy and does one thing today and another thing tomorrow, and you're not loyal to anybody, not loyal to the men, you're not loyal to the MC. People see that. And the final thing you got to have is endurance. You got to be able to stick through it. I prospected for 5 years. You got to be able to stick to it. Once you say you're going to do so, I quit the club, they don't like, you got to be able to stick to it. Big Will, those are my tips for asserting yourself with authority and motivating the club in a quick one. High in space, pound fat fingers. Let's see. Come to Savannah next weekend, Chosen Riders Annual. Next weekend is the Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club Annual here in Atlanta. So you guys should come hang out with us here. Good morning from Colorado, SBMC Nomad, always riding, never hiding. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Nomad. Welcome to the show. My cousin's wife toured Switzerland last year. That must have been really cool. Do you know what Geronimo says when he jumps off a cliff? He doesn't say Geronimo. He says, me. uh, President Big Will says he thinks that the President's Bible would be a good read for all organizations. I hope so. I really do, and I appreciate that. My club is a traditional MC. Some members are using family as an excuse to miss a lot of club functions. Not good. So it should be God, family, job. But we also have an MC here. And if you want to belong to this MC, then there's what we call a minimum standard of participation. And if you can't meet that minimum standard of participation, then you can't be in the motorcycle club. Let me do one better here. Let's go to the 1946 Booze Fighters bylaws here. And to kind of answer that question. And I thought this was really cool when I saw this in the 1946 Booze Fighters bylaws. I believe, here it is. Bylaw number 4. If a member misses 3 meetings consecutively without a substantial explanation, he will be voted upon. They'll put your ass out! Look at this one. Any member who is absent without a reasonable excuse from the club's activities will automatically be dropped from the club. That's number 5. Number 6, if a member misses a meeting without a reasonable excuse, he will be fined. They have taken 4, 5, and 6. They only have 13 bylaws in 1946. They take 4, 5, and 6 to show you how serious they are about people actually belonging to the club and being what the club is expecting. They're being there, okay? And then they come back in number 8 they talked about something else in 7. They come back in number 8 and say there will be a fine of $1 for any member not wearing his sweater to meetings, club activities, races, etc. without a reasonable excuse. They expect you to participate. They expect you to participate. You understand? And so it's if that's what they were asking for in 1946, I think it's not crazy to expect people to participate. So you can use your family as an excuse, and we're in a traditional motorcycle club and my family comes first. Well, hey, look, Booze Fighter said if you miss 3 meetings without a member, and you might at some point say, nah, that's not going to be an acceptable excuse anymore, and get rid of that black ass or white ass or whatever variant of ass they may have. Would you jump at a chance to motorboat an 18-year-old blonde? Absolutely. What's up? Insane Throttle. It's good to see you, Hollywood. You guys got to check out Insane Throttle Biker News. I did basic training at Fort Sill. Man, that's the armpit of the world, isn't it? But it's a good place to be. Have you seen the movie made way back in the day? What movie is that? Yeah, I need more context. Super chat. Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that super chat, man. I remember that. I remember watching Ronald Reagan almost get assassinated. Boy, that was a long time ago. Why didn't the public relation position take off outside of the black set? That's a good question. I wrote a book specifically for that office too. And when I wrote that book, I realized that only black motorcycle clubs really had this position called public relations officer. I think the white set was perfectly happy with the secretary handling that position. And so it's hard to say why things go or they don't, but PRO is just absolutely not really a position known about or recognized on the white set. But then neither are social clubs, and black female social clubs are huge on the black set. And when white bikers come to the black set and they see social clubs for the first time, all these women walking around wearing cuts that look like almost like biker cuts with patches on the back, and presidents and vice presidents and sergeant at arms and all that. They're looking at us like, what in the F is going on here? What are y'all doing? And hey, it's just our culture, which brings me back over here to the booze fighters rule number 11 from 1946. There will never be any women in any way affiliated in any way, shape, or form with the Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club or its subsidiaries. So, coming from that kind of thinking and meeting black female social clubs, that would just and having to speak to a black female president. Oh my goodness, that just must have the white guys torn up. So I can just only imagine PRO. Somebody comes up, they're an officer in a club, they're a PRO, and white biker clubs would be looking at you like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I've never heard of that. But there are some differences, and it's just the way they are. I'm fortunate to know both sides, so it's really kind of funny to me. Somebody says, "I remember I was in 5th grade when President Kennedy was shot." My boy, you're old. You're old, my dude. You're old. Let's see. Heavy traffic kept my son and his class from the special tour of the Twin Towers. If they had been on time, they'd have been between the walls when it happened. Oh my God, that's scary. Mo D says, "Black Dragon, your book helped me get patched this month. That information is invaluable and timeless. I love my brothers, and the work now really begins as long as we can keep our freedoms." Man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have you blank the movie The Black Angels have you seen the movie The Black Angels featuring the Choppers MC from LA? My man Bobby Chop, aka Mr. Chop, is featured in it. Are you talking about that movie from 1966, or is there something else? I don't remember the name of the movie that I saw. If that's the one you're talking about, I did see that one. If not, no. President Big Will, do you think Sitting Bull and Geronimo would have made good MC presidents, and why? Well, I absolutely think, oh my goodness, two tragic stories there. Two tragic stories. Both were inspirational for their people. Both died as prisoners on reservations. Geronimo could never get his freedom back, although they did let him ride around with Wild Bill Hickok for a while, but he died of pneumonia in a prison cell in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And didn't Sitting Bull die was it Wounded Knee? Well, he died doing the dance to get rid. Wasn't it the rain dance? Oh, no, not the rain dance. There was a dance they were doing. And I think Sitting Bull was killed. I think he was sitting up. I think I saw a picture. Wasn't that Sitting Bull that was actually sitting up when he died? They were trying to do a dance to get rid of the white men in the area, and it went bad. I think they would be great motorcycle club presidents because of the freedom and the fact that they would never be captured. They were fierce warriors, hellacious leaders. But in the end, their tribes were subjugated. So they basically led the people to failure in the overall scheme. So, they were tragic stories, although they were great, incredible warriors and fearless men. I remember Geronimo said the white man's bullet would never kill him, and he got shot some God normal amount of times. I was shot 4 times. I think he was shot like 13 or something, 18 times. I think they were both incredible men and incredible leaders, but their stories were tragic. And so would that mean that they would lead their motorcycle clubs in such tragic ends as well? All the bad guys, all of the bad guys end up that way from Billy the Kid on. So I don't know. You can say, you can, even with the motorcycle club figures, I won't name any because I don't want to start any shit, but some of the big motorcycle names that we know today did great things for their clubs, put their clubs on the maps and all this, that, and the other, but still their clubs became known as outlaw kind of nations and people, and they've been prosecuted by the law and such. So, is the Robin Hood thing a good thing or a bad thing? It's hard to say. But I think they would have been strong ass leaders as they were. Black Dragon, the new diet is starting to show results. Your face isn't puffy now. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ryan James, if you're going to be in Atlanta Thursday, give me a holler and see if you can stop by the Dragon's Lair and hang out with me. Don't quit when things get tough. Stand up and make a change if you love your club. Absolutely. Derek Warrington said, yes, Will May, the reason why the U.S. killed Geronimo is because they were worried about what he would do after peace was declared. Geronimo was thinking about the loss on both sides and saddened by it. So that's what Derek Warrington thinks about that. Somebody said, work clicks are the worst, just as one of your other viewers said, made me hate my railroad occupation that I originally loved for years. Man, I tried to get on the railroad as soon as I got out of the Navy, and I could never get a job. It was so hard. I wanted to be an engineer. I never was able to break in. It's called the 4-2. That one is how most clubs want you to truly be when your MC becomes family. So you should never have an excuse not to show up because of your family. I heard that, man. Gio the Great says, hit the like button, y'all, and I'd appreciate it if you did. Highlander is lucky. Most of his family supports the MC that he's involved with. Got to find a way to get the wife and family on board. Absolutely, that helps. Our public relations officer is the event coordinator. Yeah. So, a lot of black clubs have PROs. I've never seen a white club with one, but, you never know. Maybe after they read my book, they'll get one. The Public Relations Officer's Bible, you guys. I think you should do another show about the differences between the black and white set. I don't think a lot of people watched it on the roundtable. This time have someone from the white set. We could do that. We could do another one of those. Yeah. Black and white set. Sounds cool. Let's see here. It was mistaken as a war dance. Okay, correct me. Get me corrected. It was mistaken as a war dance by the cavalry. Wasn't it I think it was like it was a prayer dance to make and we're talking about Sitting Bull again. It was a prayer dance to make the whites go away, is what I think it was. The yellow sunflower dance or something. It was if I remember right, it was a prayer dance to make the white folks go away. It really scared the cavalry, and everybody got afraid. So they kind of sent the cavalry there that surrounded them, and then somebody shot a gun. They blame it on one of the natives shot first, and I think they come to take away all their guns. So they couldn't hunt or anything because they were afraid of them. and as they had surrounded them or whatever to get their guns, I know I'm butchering the hell out of this. One of the young men, Native Americans, shot first or whatever, and then the cavalry went all in, and it was a horrible massacre. Was it called Wounded Knee or something like that? Or am I mixing up a whole bunch of things together? I look at family way differently, says Mike Ball, than most. If you can't even get your own household in order and it's nonstop issues at home, why would you be worth a damn to the MC? Well, why would you be worth a damn as the president of the United States? I mean, that it all goes hand in hand. Why would you be worth a damn as a preacher of a church? It's thought of that if a man can't get home together, he really can't get anything together. It's very sad what the government did and is still doing to the Native Americans. Yeah, if you've been to a reservation anytime soon, it's still very tough on the res, man. That ain't no lie. Dragon, where were you on 9/11? What was the MC set sentiment after it, and how did it affect MC culture? Well, I was here in Atlanta on 9/11. I was working at Lockheed Martin, writing flight manuals for jump jets, C-130J, C-5s, AWACS airplanes. I was writing flight manuals for pilots and that sort of thing. And that's where I was when 9/11 hit. Now, I just remember that the biker culture was like everybody else, just numb. Kind of like when COVID came, you weren't focusing on the biker culture. You was focusing, because we didn't do anything. I opened up the Dragon's Lair in 2020, and for 2.5 years, I never really had anything but 1 or 2 events here. I'm just now getting the Dragon's Lair ready to open up. I didn't do anything on the bike set 2020, 2021, and a lot of 2022. I just didn't do anything. I was just that terrified of it. So 9/11 was pretty much the same kind of thing. Everybody turned inward. I don't even really remember going to any club meetings or anything like that at all. I think we were all afraid we were going to get attacked by the Middle East or something. It was a ghost dance, and Sitting Bull was killed on the Pine Ridge Reservation. It was a ghost dance. Thank you, Blind Man Davy. I remember that. I remember when I looked at the pictures and read about this many years ago, I didn't remember that he was laying down. I thought maybe he was sitting up or something. It was really a very spooky image. If you've never seen it, it is Sitting Bull's death picture. Okay, so he was kind of laying down. I don't know if you guys have never seen this picture. It was really kind of very poignant. The picture was very poignant. So that's how he died. So you guys got to go look at that picture. It's very poignant picture. At least it was for me. I know you help clubs with internal issues. What is the biggest issue you've noticed that clubs have? The biggest issues I've noticed that clubs have is cliques, sidebars, and people who think they're too big for the bylaws. That's the biggest issue they have. You have a president run amok a lot of times, and nobody's communicating. You know, Uncle Shaggy said the hallmarks of a great organization is respect, communication, and participation. And every club that I deal with that has a problem has a breakdown in one of those three areas: respect, communication, or participation. And so this is what we see over and over again. Let's see, all families have problems, but if you can't have your own hobbies and interests, husband and wife, and do separate things once in a while, yeah, you do need to be able to separate in that way. Let's see. Geronimo said he's not. Geronimo said he's not giving up. He's just not fighting anymore, and also said, "So much land. Why do the white men need all of it?" That was that. I do remember that. President Big Will says it takes an Indian to come in and get everyone talking about Indian stuff. As you guys know, may know, Big Will is a Native American who lives on the Red Lake Nation and is the president of Dave Way Motorcycle Club of the Red Lake Nation. And he he brought us back. But it's good that we have these conversations. You know, we always speak of the black and white set. We don't hardly ever speak of the Native American set, and it is out there. There's Dave Way Motorcycle Club. There's Arawak's Motorcycle Club. There's oh my God, man, help me, another big one. Oh my goodness, Red Rum. Is it Red Rum or Red Drum? Red, man. See, you guys do this to me. I'm not even going to say anymore. Speak a little bit about the unknown Native MC set. That's what we're doing. We're talking a little bit about them. I think it's Red. Help me out, Big Will. That is where it happened. Wounded Knee. Okay, I knew. Don't act like I don't know. Will, may I agree? We should Red Rum. Thank you. That's it. We should include our clip with Red Rum MC in the Black and White Set show. It would be cool to see how they compare as well. Yeah, there's a lot of good Native American MCs out there. Dwayne says, I would love to ride to Atlanta to meet up with you, but I have to make some calls to get a pass. Make your calls. Do what you know you're supposed to do. They made a movie called Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. So Wounded Knee has had 2 or 3 different kinds of issues there over the years. There have been a lot of big things that have happened there. My first time hearing about Wounded Knee, I think, was in the 70s. They had a big blow up there. So things have never really been good there. If there are cliques, could that be the result of poor or a lack of leadership? Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. You don't have president's leaders following my 14 scientific rules of military leadership. Red Rum is a First Nation MC. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. It was a prayer dance asking to get help from the Great Spirit, and U.S. soldiers were posted to disarm the natives. If they felt they were resistant, they were told to shoot them. That's what happened, man. I want to thank Black Dragon for my birthday song and all the birthday wishes from the MC family, says C. Ruger. Thank you, C. You're welcome. If Black Sabbath would start a Tallahassee chapter, I definitely would be checking them out. Closest is in Pensacola. We used to have a Jacksonville chapter. Never can tell where we will be. I'm sure Tallahassee is just a fortnight away. Hey, I got everybody's questions done, man. Yes, we do know that you're speaking of Wounded Knee, Derek. So I got everybody's questions answered. We did it in 1 hour and 9 minutes. Okay, that's cool. Listen, folks, it's been good talking to you just about whatever you wanted to talk about today. That's interesting. Somebody said Red Rum is murder spelled backwards. is that, what do they call those things? There's a word name of things that are actually spell a word front and backwards. What are they called? Some term, interrogatives or something. I don't know the term, but there's a term. But that's interesting. So now you can say, "Don't let me red rum you," and nobody will know what you mean. With no disrespect to the motorcycle club. So you guys always trying to get me in trouble. Listen, I'm Black Dragon, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you guys today, talking about whatever the hell you guys wanted to talk about. I think we'll do that on Thursdays, and have some fun doing it. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. We really need that to help the motorcycle, or to help the channel. Black Dragon Biker TV can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, we're on LinkedIn, and we stream live on Twitch for those of you who are Twitchers. Make sure to check us out on TikTok and help us grow our channel on Instagram. If you wouldn't mind going over there and giving us a like, sharing us, subscribe. My books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, President's Bible, Public Relations Officer's Bible, and the Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Clubs are all available on Amazon, Kindle, or on blackdragonsgear.com, which is where I would prefer that you get them from. Our daily podcast can be found on the Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Please join the Discord. Link is in the description below. We'd love to have you come hang out with us over on Discord. And you can get a hold of me at blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com. blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com. Man, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you for this hour and 12 minutes today. I'm Black Dragon. We'll see you tomorrow for our news segment. We do this every single day. Every day, there's going to be some content coming from us. Look for our shorts that hit throughout the day, and like and share and subscribe them. Yes, President Big Will, I absolutely did sign your book, my man. I love you, and I appreciate you for everything you've done for me. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. I'd love to hear your 2 cents down in the comments section below. I've had a great time with you today. It's time to dock the mothership, and we will do that right now. Boom, back to planet Earth. Wow, wasn't that cool? Thanks for tuning in. I'm losing weight. The doctor says I got to lose 100 pounds, so we're going at it, man. Y'all come and do it with me. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospects Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
You are fake is. Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker News you can trust.
Biker News you can trust. Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust.